Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Bali. Welcome live at the Four Seasons while I'm sitting and had a salad this morning, a beautiful salad, most expensive salad I've ever had in my life, but I enjoyed every single mouthful. A few days ago I started the Flower Bible and the section I started was basically every time you turn a page there will be a flower on that page and a description, a channeled message. So I'm going to give you in these past few days, I'm going to give you what I've channeled in the names of the flowers. So I'm not going to be able to say them all, but I'm going to try. So bluebell is number 1, carnation number 2, daffodil, dahlia, honeysuckle, jasmine, lily of the valley, orchid, rose, sunflower, tulip, violet, dandelion. I had to get dandelion. Fuchsia, geranium, iris, peony. I'm not going to pronounce that, am I? And then amaryllis, hydrodendra. 18 thus far, 18 flowers I channeled. Now, just giving you an idea of how long it takes to channel one flower and then write it down in a way that sounds lovely. It can take anything from 20 minutes to an hour, sometimes 2 hours. So that gives you an idea, a couple of hours, I guess, for each one. So I've done 18, so yeah, nearly 40 hours work in these few days, and it's wonderful. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love doing it. If I thought for a moment it was difficult or it was a struggle, I'd stop and I wouldn't do it anymore. Anyway, so I want to say hello to everybody. There's 41 beautiful souls on here. Don't tell me I'm shadow banned, of course I'm not. So, I don't know if you saw some of the messages the other day. I got about, 30, 40 messages the other day, just in one day, saying, oh, hi Mark, I subscribed to YouTube last week. Right, so I have about, maybe 100 subscribers a week, and yeah, if you look at what YouTube's doing, they're dirty tricksters, underhand mafia parasites, just disgusting human beings controlling this AI technology. So it says, do you want to have a look at your monthly stats? And I looked at them, and it says zero subscribers, views, 174,000 views in a month. Okay, 0 subscribers. They're not even hiding it anymore. They don't give a shit what they do. So yeah, I was laughing. As soon as I saw it, I just started laughing. And it's good, really, to, you know, because part of you thinking, am I just making this up? Am I like becoming paranoid? No, you're not, Mark. This is the way darkness works. So it's fascinating. So I'd like to tackle a subject today. Oh, hang on a minute. What have I got around my neck? My second favourite crystal in the world, and a perfect time to be wearing it. See that blue? This is a crystal which has motherstone, which is the white and the brown, and then the blue is the actual crystal itself, but the motherstone is absolutely phenomenal as well. It's high frequency and vibration, so you don't have to just get the flower, the blue flower, which costs a bloody fortune, but this in itself, just like this, is perfect. So what you're looking at here is a crystal that is only from one place, just one place. And can any of you guess where it's from? And can any of you guess what the crystal is? Just wait for a few guesses. It's a very vibrant blue, very vibrant blue. Phenomenal colour, actually. Gorgeous, incredible energy. Anybody guess? It's my second favourite crystal in the world. Not from Africa. Cavansite, congratulations, well done you. Brilliant, Cavansite. So Cavansite is from India and from one region called Pune. And it's getting harder and harder to dig because the veins are now kind of drying up, so it's getting harder to get quality pieces. I actually have I did have one of the most beautiful Cavansite collections on the internet, on the website of anybody's store. I don't know, I sell so many of them because they work. So what does this crystal do? A long time ago, I was gifted a piece of this, and I was going through a terrible, painful situation, which I've never told anybody about. I speak about my pain a lot, but not this particular one, not so much. And I remember putting it on, and within 2 days, my thinking and my thoughts changed from negative to positive. And when I look back and saw the transformation of a few days of wearing this crystal, there was only one word I could use that made sense. I'd actually forgiven the person for doing what they did in 2 days in wearing this crystal. That is the first time I've ever told this story. I was so taken aback by it that I went out and searched for this crystal everywhere. Now, back in the days, it wasn't easy getting it when I was 38, but I managed to get some pieces and they became probably the most used crystal and gifted crystal in my healing studio. So anybody who used to come with pain, and that pain could be grief that they never had time to say goodbye to their loved ones. It could be grief because they treat their loved ones very badly. It could be that somebody really did harmful things to them. Somebody may have cheated on them. All of the worst things you can think of where you would walk a new path of holding on to this suffering. And I used to put this around people's necks or in their hands. And when it was ever so bad, and I realized that they need to carry this energy with them for the next week or so, I used to put a piece of Cavansite around their neck. And the amount of, I used to call them hits. I know it sounds stupid, but it means that something worked. It's a hit, that's a positive, it worked. The amount of hits that this crystal did on a weekly basis blew my mind. And that's why if you ever watch my videos on YouTube, the most popular videos, if you click the most popular, you go down, it's probably the third one, and it says the 3 most popular crystals in the world, or the 3 most powerful crystals in the world. This is number 2. Because it's powerful for healing, suffering, pain, grief, heartbreak, any suffering, the loss of a child, a family member leaving and not coming back and speaking to you again. I could go on and on and on and on. This crystal is what you wear. And the reason why is because when I wore that crystal for them 2 days, I found myself looking at the other side instead of just feeling my pain and seeing why that person did what they did and what reason they would have for doing it, and putting myself in that situation and seeing, I can see why they may have done it, or looked at me and why they did it because of what I contributed towards them doing it. And my thought patterns changed. And that, okay, yeah, maybe I wasn't such a good person. Maybe I didn't do what I should have done. And I can understand. I play a part in everything that happens to me in my life. That's a beautiful thing, to let go of suffering, that we hate somebody, that they did something, and we hold on to it for the rest of our lives until we die of cancer because of that very thought that we held on to. I don't want to die of cancer. I don't want an illness. I don't want to let somebody who's done something to me cause an illness in me. My body and my life is more important because I want to continue this life and this journey, but I don't want to continue it feeling sick and ill and bitter and twisted like my first mentor. She couldn't even walk properly because her shoulders were so bent in with her anger and jealousy of life. I don't want to live like that. I want my shoulders to be like this. I want to walk with an upbeat. I want to skip. Because if you ever see a child skipping, you know that they don't have no burden. They're not weighed down. If a child isn't skipping, you can see them walking heavy with their head down. All that energy which is so heavy, they can't skip. So I want to learn to skip every day. I want to learn to let go of all the pain that I experienced through all of the people that I met and all my mistakes that I've made. I want to learn to forgive all of that and step out of that bubble that will kill me and make me feel sick and ruin my bloody life. What for? Because of what? A breakup? A split up from a partnership? A loss of this? A loss of... Hey. Come on. Isn't your life worth more? Isn't your life worth more You're here for a reason, yeah, to feel, but you're here to strengthen from that and become powerful and share the message of love and healing that we can get through these things. So, Cavansite, gotta say, it never has let me down in 20 years. So I love wearing it. So there you go, that's the crystal of today. So I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I might have mentioned it last night on one of my videos that I was channeling. Actually, I'll tell you which crystal I was channeling. Was it Iris? It was Iris. Iris. I was channeling a flower called Iris, and I don't know if any of you know, or any of you have experienced it, but when you're in a deep mode, sometimes you can receive messages or a download, right? It might be completely different from what you're downloading or attuning to. And then you go, well, where did that come from? Well, a few days ago, I was working on Iris, the flower, and all of a sudden I was sat here, the music went quiet, and I just heard this message. And it's very difficult to explain. I heard it. It wasn't like somebody says, I am God and here is your message. It's just like energy running through you that you can feel, and you understand what the message is through that feeling. Okay, that's how I channel. So what I heard was, and I'll do it in a way that simplifies it, not too complicated. Everything that we did over these past 5 years, 4 years, was relevant, but now is no longer needed. Now is all about creating, healing, and making a difference in this world. What that means is we can categorize as much as we want, but let's just say that there are people who saw through the BS of what evil was trying to do to humanity. And some of us saw it and they couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't sway us, they couldn't, no matter what they did, they couldn't budge us, they couldn't bribe us, they couldn't, I mean, we were just laughing at everything they were trying, you know. You can get some free fries and a burger if you have this poison. It's like, you know, we're just laughing. And darkness knows, these families know that they cannot do anything to make us fall for what they do. They know this. And you might say there's 20%, but just let's say there's a lot of us out there. So they can't do anything. The rest of the world, they can use tactics to, you know, part of the world will just do anything they're told without question. The other part need a bit of a push, need a bit of fear factor, and some need bribes, and some need to be told that they're going to be enslaved unless they do it and have it, and then you can have your freedom back. So all of those did it. They all did it, okay? So they all followed what they were told in the end. So there's either the ones that listen to what feels right and those who just follow or are easily swayed. So the job's done, okay? The job's done. So what is the point in confirming what everybody knows? What's the point in talking to people that are easily swayed and led by government and darkness? What's the point talking to them? It's done, it's finished. So what's the point? Now you might argue, because I thought, well, there are some people waking up. Well, it's a bit late for that, because they've already been injected. So there's what can you do? The best you can do now, because there is something you can do, but it isn't about sharing shock horror, what's next. Because those who know and those who can't be hoodwinked, brainwashed, sleight of handed, we already know. We already know they're trying everything, so there's just no point. So what we do now is we try and help in this situation where we try and make the best of this world. It's done. So we make the best of what we can. The way we change this world, in my humble opinion, is by energy. Energy of creation, energy of working on yourself, energy of putting information out there of how to help heal the world, because the world needs healing, guys. The world needs more healing now than it's ever done, ever. So, what's the point in putting out the clickbait? And everybody's jumping onto the clickbait now. It is part of the evil push. So, this morning, I saw it last night, and a couple of days, it's now a new push to solar flares. Just like it was a push for Nibiru, just like it's a push for whatever they plan through the whole of our lifetime. There is plans in place every day for a new scenario to shit people out of their bodies, scare the living crap out of people, to create an energy that feeds darkness. So what do we do to counter that? What do we do to stop that? If we jump on board like all the podcasters are doing, we are feeding the darkness. All the podcasters are talking about, all the negative stuff, all the what ifs, all what people are talking about, that isn't helping. So we have to change now. I have to change. That is, I would have continued pointing out lies and manipulations all the time. But the message was clear. Why are you doing that, Mark? The ones who are not injected, who didn't buy into it, won't fall for anything that they're pushing. And darkness knows this, and these elite families know this. So what a waste of energy. You may argue, oh, but it might wake some people up. Well, it might do. But then how many times did you think you got through to somebody and then they went and took the jab? And you like, hang on a minute, I thought you heard what I said. And that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. It doesn't matter what you do. You're either awakened in that sense or you're not. You can't be partially awakened. That's my belief. So what do? Do we just stop and let everybody, be? Well, you can do, but I still think it's important to share information which is positive. So I shared a video on, and I work on cleansing the body, positive. I work on healing illness, positive. I work on just be aware of this food and try and eat this food. Okay, so stick to this food. Try not to eat too much of that food. And there's nothing wrong with pointing out certain things, like right now I posted a video of ibuprofen. The writing on the tablet is made of graphene oxide, and that's what they're trying to get in all of us. It's graphene oxide is also in major companies. You need to boycott all the major companies. It's that simple. It isn't fear factor. It's like, well, it's easy talking about stuff, and it's another thing doing it. Again, you can't sway somebody into really doing it. They're either savvy or they're not. So, no, I'm not touching corporations that are making foods. I'm going to go to my local farmer. So there's only so much we can do. I understand that, but the more healing you put inside your mouth, the less poisons you put inside your mouth. So medicine to me is fruit and vegetables. It's herbs. It's all that Mother Earth gives us. Nothing that is made by a corporation will go into my mouth. So that's what I keep telling myself, and I work on that daily. Sometimes you trip and fall, and sometimes you might think, okay, oh, that's lovely, I'll have some of that. That's beautiful. No, I won't have it. No, thank you. No, thanks very much. Don't want it. And the more, I'll have that fruit and veg. Where's this fruit from? Sorry, where does this fruit come from? Oh, it comes from the island. Okay, And is it pesticides? No, all clean. Okay, is it organic or organic? Okay, I'll have some then. There's only so much we can do, but we don't get paranoid about it, because there is something that I also share with people, that if your frequency is high when you eat something, don't eat a piece of chocolate and feel guilty, because that guilt is a frequency that will make the chocolate poison, and your body will turn poison, and it will. But if you eat something with love and say it's healthy and healing, and I'm not saying do it all the time and this is the way to get away with it. No. If you are eating something and you have no choice, right, and you can't help yourself, you're desperate, you eat it, and you eat it with love. Don't eat it with negativity. Don't eat it, for God's sake, with anger, because you can change the frequency of something you're eating into a high positive energy, which will have a less poison or a negative effect on your body. So everything that you do now is all about being wise and being positive, okay? I have a friend called Paul Dyson, and he was my best man at 2 weddings. Paul every morning wakes up and has a cup of tea with 2 sugars in. He has a Kit Kat every morning with 4 finger Kit Kat. His daily intake is probably processed foods, and he loves beans from a tin, white bread, and he eats meat, not so much fish, not so much vegetables, and that's his daily kind of food. He's in his 70s now, and he's never been sick in his life. Okay? So let's get it in perspective. The only reason why I talk like I do is to try and help people become a little bit more healthier. I'm not expecting anybody to dramatically change their life because you can say, I just can't find any food, Mark. Well, it might take a little bit of effort, but don't beat yourself up about it. Just do your best and introduce more healthy food. I'm going to have some cheese and onion crisps today. Not the healthiest thing. That really does cause a lot of issue in the body. Your body struggles with them. But if you enjoy it, and try and eat more healthy. That's it. I'm not a Hitler type of person saying you've got to do this and that. I fall many times. You know, I can bite this piece of chocolate now and have no guilt about it, but I don't want it because I'd rather eat healthier. But there are times that I'll eat a piece of chocolate and it won't affect me. I won't bother about it. But then I will always remind myself that now I'm eating that chocolate, I need to cleanse my body of the sugar that's inside my body. Now, they told me that the chocolate content in this is about 80%, which means that it's probably good cacao, okay? And it's probably very little sugar. And they put coconut sugar in a lot of things. So, but if I'm eating something from a corporation like Cadbury's, you can guarantee that what they put inside that chocolate is going to be poisons because they are owned by those very families that create illness in this world. So these are the things that I talk about, and I don't. There have been times that people have pointed the finger at me and said over these 3 years, that I'm doom and gloom and that I'm negative. I'm proud of what I did in these past 4 years. I'm proud of being a beacon for not taking the 3-dart finish, Britney Spears. Okay, I'm proud of sharing that and telling people don't do it. Why? Because I have hundreds of messages a month saying, I'm so glad I heard you and others. You notice how we're not talking about it anymore? Do you know why we're not talking about it anymore? Because it's done. And do you know why people now are talking about it? Because they know they can. Because they're not going to get censored. They're not going to get kicked off mainstream media. Because it's okay now to talk about it. So they've jumped onto the bandwagon. I call them parasites. All the podcasters are talking about it now. Where were you? Where were you 3 years ago? That's right, you were under your bed shaking, keeping your mouth shut, because you didn't want to ruin your followership. You didn't want to jeopardize losing your channel and your income. And that's what I'm saying. Be careful who you're following. Just be careful who you follow and listen to, because it's easy to be hooked into their amazing world of listen to me now. Listen to you now? You're a bit late, mate. You're about 3 years too late. But now you're getting all the attention and everybody thinks you're amazing. And how everybody forgets that you never said a bloody word when the most important time. But then again, like I said, 20% will understand this and the rest will simply follow. I'm wishing you all a lovely day, guys. I'm very happy, by the way. I'm never been as happy in my life. I'm in Bali. I'm in the Four Seasons. I can't afford a night here, but maybe one day I might. Who knows? I don't want to. But even my head can't comprehend paying $2,000 a night to sleep in a bed. Sorry, I must be a Yorkshireman in me. But $2,000 can buy crystals that can be shared to people as a gift all over the world and change the world. So I'm not that selfish to want to spend $2,000 a night when I can do so much with it. But I guess I am a little bit selfish to be here and spend 50 euros all day and eat healthy and drink natural water and have the most idyllic place, being with smiles of love and kindness. And when you tip, like I tip well, always tip well. And if I have a bunch of money before I leave, I always give it to somebody who needs it. It's like you just feel like you do good at the same time as enjoying yourself. But I think we all have our comfort zone, and we all, okay, that I can afford that. It's our money conversation. My money conversation is I like to go to a local place where the money goes back into the village or into society. Like if I put thousands of euros into Four Seasons, it's just going into a big company. So I try and understand that as well. But at the same time, I don't want to eat off the streets where, they're not very hygienic and I'm going to get food poisoning, right? Because I'm working on a book. So it's all about what feels right to me. I mean, people will watch this now and either call me a snob or say, well done, or you should stay there, or it's disgusting that they charge that much. That's people's conversations. I don't have time for people's conversations right in that way. It just is what it is. And it's just like I once said, we should try and make the world a better place. And then a friend said, well, what are you going to do? Go to India. Look at the person under a piece of tarpaulin, piece of plastic, trying to, big smile on their face. Look at the people in here who come here, sit down. Most of them are miserable. And that's the truth. Most of them are fucking miserable. They don't smile. They've got nothing to smile about. Like, are you serious? You're spending $2,000 a night and you've got nothing to smile about. This beautiful location, eating this beautiful food. So it doesn't matter what you think. That's just my thoughts. It's not important. Everybody goes through pain and suffering. And who, if I take that child out of the tarpaulin and give them, money, what are they going to do with that? It's like, no, you've got to allow the world to be as it is. Keep your nose out of people's lives. Let them be. Just do your best. That's it. Just do your best. I used to always put money into people on the streets. I always just put money in. And then one day, I remember Babaji said, sometimes when you put money, when you give money to a beggar, you are confirming to them that what they're doing is a positive thing. And look at how, by begging, they are becoming, that it's reinforcing, giving the money. It's okay, yeah, it's okay to be a beggar. Look what you're getting. Look at the rewards. And I'm like, wow, shit, that's so true. So what I did then is change it. And I went in and bought a sandwich or a meal and took it to them. And you know, quite a lot of people were offended angry by it. Like, I just bought you a sandwich, you know, I just bought you a salad, I just bought you a coffee, and it's like, I don't want a fucking coffee, I want money for drugs. Like, so you can't win. There's no right and wrong in anything that you do. The only thing you can do is do it with good intentions, and that's it. But if you want something back from that, then that's just a business transaction. When you give out of love, no matter how they feel about it, you just do it out of love. They do what they want with it. But you did a good deed because you felt it was right in your heart. And just because of their reaction should not change your outcome towards. But you can think about it a little bit more and think about, okay, well, I'll give them a sandwich. That's the best I can give you, because if I'm feeding you, at least it gives you thought, okay, now I need to change my life. They might never change their life. Maybe they're there for a reason. It's their reason. And if they get out of it, then they get out of it. If they don't, they don't. But, this is a brilliant one. It just popped in my mind. I remember this lady came for a healing session when I was in the Tunisia Golf Hotel, and she came with all the family, and there was about 100 people there, so it was like a healing night. And at the end of the night, she was stood up and she was kind of talking to everybody, and then she came up to me and she said, I'd like to give you this, it's from Amma. I went, oh, that's really kind. And it was powder from Amma. I don't know if you know who Amma is, but she's an Indian lady who hugs people. And she said, this is a gift from Amma, right? She wanted you to have this gift. And I went, oh, I know who she is, but why would she want to give me this gift? Well, she does. I went, oh, okay, I'll take your word for it. So it's powder, it's white powder. I've kept it ever since. I love Amma because she's a hugger of people and a kind person, or so I believe. I don't know her personally, but you know, it was a nice gift. Then they introduced me to this woman who couldn't really speak properly, was absolutely all over the place, and I actually gave her healing, this woman, more than everybody else. And she said, oh, I want to introduce you to this lady. And I went, oh yeah, hi. And this lady didn't speak, never said a word. She looked like she was in another world. And they said, we found her on the streets, and we've decided to take her in and look after her. Part of me felt happy and part of me felt sad. And the reason why is because I think she was doing it to show her Dharma, to do good. But it didn't feel like it was doing good in the way that it was like, I'm just doing it because I have to do it, because it felt like I needed to do it. And she kind of said that to me. And I thought, that feels so false. It feels so wrong. And nothing felt right about this woman and this situation, that they took this woman off the street. Nothing felt right about it. So the intention wasn't right, even though they felt that they were doing it right and they wanted everybody to know what they were doing. They wanted to tell Amma and tell everybody. It's like, and that just comes back to mind, that point. And I don't know what happened thereafter, but it just didn't feel right. So I think when you do something, you do it with the most pure intention, or don't do it at all. Just don't do it at all. It's okay. I remember going to see Babaji, and as I was driving down the mountain, there was a dog which was struggling for water. And I was late, and I normally used to stop and have water or food in my car and stop, and there's always dogs everywhere all over Mias. And when I first was there was so many. And this time I thought, oh shit, I haven't got time. And then I closed my eyes and I said, please, let somebody give the dog. It wasn't dying, but I just knew it needed some water. And I just, please, somebody behind me, somebody else, give some water to this dog, okay? It wasn't going to die. It's just like normally I would have just give some water to the dog. It might not have even wanted it. But because I was late and I knew that they closed the doors, and I really wanted to go and see Babaji, I just wanted to hear his wisdom. So anyway, I got there on time, and everybody can get up and just ask a question. And I got up and I said to Babaji, I came here, and on the journey, I saw a dog. And normally I would like feed the dog on the street and give it water, but this time I thought I knew I'd be late and that you wouldn't let me in because the door's closed. So I had no time to stop. And I said, I got here, I'm here now. I said, I asked God or the universe, please let somebody else feed the dog. I said, what would you have done? And he said, I would have fed the dog. And I thought, he's right. I should have fed the dog. Fuck it. If I'm not going to be there, I'm not going to be there. But that was in front of me. That was for me to see. Okay? So I'm seeing it for a reason. And I learned from that. And he was right. And I knew he was going to say that anyway. And I'd have been locked out. And so what? So freaking what? You do the right thing. So that was a valuable lesson. And I'm like, thank you to the dog. So anyway, I'm just waffling on a bit now. I just wanted to share that with you. Sending you all my love wherever you are in the world. I'm now going to start on the Flower Bible again and work through today. And hopefully tomorrow I'll see you in Ubud in a different location, all being well. And I'm wishing you all a lovely day. So I'll leave you with a beautiful view. And I'm going to shut up now. And that's it. Have a lovely day. 42 minutes. It's flown by. You're most welcome. Thank you. Love you too. Love you all. Gurinder Singh. Gurinder Singh. You won't find him on the internet because he won't allow people to take photos of him. That's another reason why I like him. You can't go and see Gurinder Singh with a mobile phone. You can't have a pen and paper. You've just got to sit there and absorb it in. And I actually love being in his presence. I love it when he scans the room because I can feel that energy. So don't get me wrong, I love people, but I don't put him on a pedestal. I love wisdom and I love to learn. I'm a pupil and I'm a teacher, and I think we all are, and that keeps away ego. Don't ever bow down to a guru, and Gurinder Singh will never allow anybody to bow down to him. He won't allow anybody to clap. And I think, okay, I like this guy. This is my wavelength. This is my energy. And yeah. Is it good to eat beef? Somebody once asked him, and he said, "My dear, I have never seen a calf and a mother being separated with happiness and joy." And I thought, wow, totally. Babaji, I have come all the way from India to see you here in Spain. You are not giving me what I need. Did I ask you to come here, sister? Did I ask you to come here? Love you all. Have a great day, guys. Remember, you are your guru. Always. If you're going to bow to anybody, look in the mirror. Love yourself. Bye for now. Take care, guys.